So, I have this one pumpkin. It's ripe now. I grew it right here in my own allotment garden, and today I'm going to turn this single pumpkin into a full day of incredible meals. We're talking breakfast, lunch, and a dessert. You can whip up in your microwave that you seriously won't believe. It's a bit of a challenge, no doubt. One pumpkin to fuel an entire day. But the real question is, can I actually make an unforgettable steamed cake in a microwave? You'll want to stick around for this, because the results might just surprise you, and they'll definitely make you hungry. All right, let's just take a second to appreciate this beauty. It's got some real weight to it. Looking at it, the first thing that pops into my head is, what on earth am I going to make with all of this? It's a mix of pure excitement and, if I'm being honest, a bit of a panic. But hey, that's the fun of the challenge. The first step to conquering any large vegetable is just breaking it down. This is where we turn this big, daunting pumpkin into something we can actually cook with. My goal is to get a gorgeous, silky smooth pumpkin puree that'll be the foundation for our 3 recipes. The best way to do this is to roast it. Roasting brings out this deep caramelised sweetness that you just can't get from boiling. First up, a good wash to get any garden dirt off the skin. Now for the toughest part, splitting it in half. You need a big, sharp knife and a steady hand for this. Don't saw at it, just find a good spot near the stem, press the knife in and carefully rock it to work your way around. Once it's open, it feels like finding treasure. We need to scoop out all of these seeds and stringy bits. An ice cream scoop or a simple spoon works wonders here. The sharp edge scrapes it perfectly clean. You can keep the seeds, just rinse them and toss them in a little oil and salt and roast them for an amazing snack. For our 3 main recipes though, we're all about the flesh. Now for our prep work. Simple, perfect roasted pumpkin. I'm talking about 4 beautiful quarters and placing them in a baking dish. But I don't bother with oil or salt. But you do you. I find the pumpkin caramelises with its own sugars. These are going into the oven at 180 degrees C or at about 350 Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes to an hour. It really just depends on the size of your pumpkin. You know it's done when a fork or a skewer slides through the skin and flesh with 0 resistance. The whole kitchen is about to smell like autumn. This roasted pumpkin is a delicious, healthy side dish all on its own, but more importantly, it's the key to everything else we're making today. Right, the pumpkin is out of the oven. It's cool enough to handle, and oh, that smell is just incredible. It's so tender the skin practically peels right off. For all of our recipes, we need pumpkin puree. I'm going to scoop this gorgeous roasted flesh straight into a bowl. A quick blitz with an immersion blender or a food processor works too, and you have the most vibrant, sweet pumpkin puree you've ever had. It's miles better than anything from a can. Although, if you don't have a homegrown pumpkin, a tin of puree will do. With our puree ready, let's talk breakfast. What says cosy morning more than a stack of warm, fluffy waffles? We are making pumpkin spice waffles. In a big bowl, we need 4 eggs, and the star of the show, half a cup of pumpkin puree, then 330 ml of a milk of your choice. I'm using soya milk. 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 300 grams of flour. I'm using wholemeal, I think also called whole wheat, and 4 teaspoons of baking powder. You can decide if you want 2 teaspoons of pumpkin spice and an extra teaspoon of cinnamon or not. Whisk it all together until it's smooth and beautifully orange. Try not to overmix the waffle batter if you want them light and fluffy. My waffle iron is preheated and I'm ready to go. I'll pour about half a cup of batter into each section. Ah, that sizzle. It's just the most satisfying sound. These will cook for a few minutes until they're golden brown and perfectly crisp. Seriously, the house smells like a fall autumn festival right now. Okay, the first waffle is done. Look at that gorgeous colour. Perfectly crisp. Moment of truth. Wow, this is unbelievable. It's so light and fluffy inside and that perfect crispy crust. The pumpkin flavour is so rich and sweet and the spices are just wonderfully warm and comforting. When crowned with your favourite toppings, this is a 10 out of 10 breakfast, no question. So that's breakfast sorted. And for a simple lunch, we've got our beautiful caramelised roasted pumpkin right here, which we're going to make into a simple soup. Whenever I am cooking, I like to make sure I get a lunch out of whatever the main ingredient is that I'm using. So much less effort than having to go and make my lunch separately as well. The soup is easy peasy to make. Mix 1 cup of pumpkin puree, that's 240 ml, 1 cup of milk, I'm using soya, 1 cup of vegetable stock, I actually use bouillon and water, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, a sprinkle of turmeric, 1 to 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 crushed clove of garlic, a pinch to half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of miso paste, or you can add a little bit more salt to taste if you don't have this ingredient. Mix and bring to simmer for a few minutes. So it's just popping everything in the pan and stirring it really. I like to serve it with sourdough bread. This one is our homemade loaf. I will link the video for it at the end of this video for you, so you can watch it. 2 meals down, 1 to go. But now it's time for dessert. For this I'm trying something, some would say a little crazy. Something I was almost sure wouldn't work when I first did it. We're making a steamed pumpkin cake, entirely in the microwave. Trust me, and just wait. You're going to want to see this. I know what you're thinking. A cake in the microwave? It sounds like a recipe for a dense, rubbery brick. But this is a steamed sponge, and the microwave is secretly the perfect tool for creating that steamy environment in a flash. This might just be the best recipe of the day. Here's what we need. First, weigh out your 2 large eggs in a bowl, and then add the same weight of your other ingredients. So for example, my 2 large eggs were 117 grams. So I'm going to add 117 grams of margarine, 117 grams of sugar, 117 grams of flour, and then half a teaspoon of both baking powder and bicarbonate of soda. To that, we add our star ingredient, about half a cup of our glorious puree. Let's get all this mixed together until it's a smooth, cohesive batter. Now for the little trick that makes this dessert truly unforgettable. I've got a microwave-safe bowl here. You can add a couple of tablespoons of golden syrup right at the bottom to create a gooey, self-saucing, caramel-like dream when we flip the cake out, if you want. But my family finds it sweet enough, and we prefer to add custard, which I'll show you in a bit. And now for the magic. This goes into the microwave on high for just 6 minutes. Yeah, 6. No preheating the oven, no waiting around for an hour. In less than 10 minutes, we should have a fully cooked, moist and delicious pumpkin sponge cake. It feels like a culinary cheat code. While this cooks, if you're enjoying this one pumpkin challenge and are already thinking about what you'd make, let me know in the comments below. I really do read every single one, and if this resourceful cooking is sparking some ideas, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next challenge. I've got a ton of fruit in the freezer that needs dealing with. Right, the microwave just beeped. This is a moment of truth. I'm going to carefully take it out. It's super hot. Let it stand for just a minute, and now slide a butter knife around the edge. I'll put a plate on the top of the bowl, and with all the confidence I can muster, flip it over. And a little tap, and let's see what we've got. Oh, look at that. It came out perfectly. The cake is a beautiful, light sponge, and it smells absolutely amazing. I have to try this while it's still warm, but we need the custard, also quickly whipped up in our trusty microwave. What do you need for that? Well, you need 2 level tablespoons of corn flour, 2 heaped tablespoons of sugar, the tiny sprinkle of turmeric for colour, not too much, so be careful because it can over-flavour it if you don't watch it, 1 teaspoon of vanilla for the flavour we want, and 300 ml of the milk of your choice. I'm using soy milk. But just a splash here to prevent lumps, and then once it's smooth, we add in the rest and stir. Cook for 2 minutes, stir, and then usually it's up to 1 minute more. Watch carefully though, or it may boil over. Stop it as it rises up the jug, and then stir, pour, and yum. Wow, it is unbelievably light and moist. It's like our classic British steamed pudding, but made in a tiny fraction of the time. Suitable for those rushed midweek evenings. The pumpkin makes it incredibly tender, and the custard on top is just pure silky indulgence. This isn't just a good for a microwave cake. This is genuinely a fantastic dessert. So there we have it. Let's recap. From one single pumpkin, we have a towering, fluffy stack of pumpkin spice waffles for an ultimate fall breakfast. We have a beautiful, sweet, caramelised, roasted pumpkin soup. And we have this absolute showstopper, an unbelievable microwave steamed pumpkin sponge cake that might just change the way you think about dessert. A million flavour varieties you could try. We also have the bonus of a few tubs of puree to go in the freezer. Ready to make these recipes again whenever I feel like it. Delicious. Was the challenge a success? Absolutely. It's amazing how one simple ingredient from the garden can be stretched and transformed into a day of meals with a little creativity. All 3 recipes were incredible, but I have to admit, this microwave cake is my absolute favourite. It's proof that sometimes the wildest ideas in the kitchen are the ones that pay off the most. Thanks so much for joining me on this little pumpkin adventure. I hope it inspires you to look at your ingredients you have in a fresh way. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll help show it to other people that might like it. And definitely subscribe for more garden to table cooking. Let me know in the comments what single ingredient you want to see me tackling next. Until then, happy cooking. Bye!